have either you, Holly, or you, Ravi, bought any new electronic toys recently?
Oh, good
That you've been
question,
playing with?
Ravi.
Musically.
Musically. Ed, you need to say musically at the end, or otherwise people think you're talking about inappropriate hardware.
Have you bought any
Oh my god.
electronic items, inappropriate music hardware recently?
I think that's to you, Ravi.
I'm so busy laughing at your question. Sorry.
I just can't with you.
That's guitar, Ravi.
Oh, what? Sorry, I didn't get a word of that. I was busy laughing.
Have you made yourself a cigar box guitar, Ravi?
I haven't made myself a cigar box guitar. However, I do have an oil can guitar over there somewhere.
Oh, cool.
But what this guitar has, I don't know whether you can see it. It's got this thing on the back, which is they're robot tuners.
Oh.
So I, because of there's another local artist who's another good friend of mine called Ashley Fields, and long story short, I had a crazy evening in the back of a car with him once.
That sounds wrong as well, doesn't it? I mean,
That's Holly. Why are you telling Rav? That's so much more worse than mine.
It's not, because you can do lots of crazy things in a car. It's just that your mind went there, because that's clearly where your mind's at today, Ed. I mean, anyway. So,
Ed's mind's always there, but
and he not only did we have a crazy night in a car, but he messed around with my tuning pegs. So now I play a load of songs that aren't in standard, and I end up going through about 3 or 4 different tunings within each show. Doing that by hand was getting really annoying because you can't talk to people on tune.
Yeah.
So now I have a little robot on the back of the headstock that does it for me.
That's very nice. Could you give us a demonstration? I'd love to see.
I mean, it's now. That depends. Am I playing later on or not?
Yes, you are.
I am.
So the demo will be allowed. Like, yeah.
Because it's actually perfectly in tune. But I will make it light up.
Oh, it lights up.
I see the pretty colours it produces.
There you go.
Oh, wow, wow, woo, wah.
Wow, wow, woo, wah.
Oh
my gosh.
There's a song that Borat sang in like some bar in Texas that I'd love you to play now.
It's up to you if you want to play Ed's request or your new single. It's up to you. Feel free to pick what one.
Well,
to make
I'd
Ed's day.
A new single over a Borat.
Yeah.
But my new single is also very nice. So.
Very nice. So, that's the question. I'll lead on to this. Do you have any questions for us? Because I sent you a message to have a think. I did it like late at night after I just remembered that I was supposed to send you that message earlier in the day. But do you have any questions for us at the B Side team?
I do. I have a few questions for you, actually. I mean, well, my first question was going to be if you'd bought any new electronic toys, but Ed already got that one out of the way for me. So, firstly, I mean, for you guys as the brilliant producers that you are, what would you say is the process that you guys follow when you work with new acts?
Would you like to take this one, Ed, or?
Yes, of course.
Well, I'll lead off from where you're going into it. So, yeah, you go first.
So is this like generally process with like production or?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess it's too stressful. You can go first.
Okay. It's too stressful. Okay, fine.
Action at the moment. So I'm having this issue. Sorry, Holly, I've stolen your answer.
So you want to go first, right? You go then.
I'm having this issue where so I've been tasked. So we have an assignment where we have to sort of like mix these tracks in the particular specific genre and sort of imitate how those tracks would have been produced at the time. So I'm having this issue now where I get quite ear deaf, where I can't hear stuff. Like, I know if something sounds wrong and disgusting in a mix, but it just doesn't click with me. And I have two different forms of referencing that I use for my listening. I use three. I'll take that back. I have three. I have these nice Sony headphones, which were gifted to me by Holly Bedell. I have these older mixing headphones from 1973. And I also have some low-end studio monitors, which I really need to change because the drivers in them are fucking shit. So I use those three different types of listening devices to hear what I'm mixing. And I don't know, recently I've just been going a bit deaf. It's been a bit hard, but I'm getting through it. It's I've been using Logic a lot more recently. It's very enjoyable, I have to say. I've just sort of I've been doing a lot of side chaining. This is something I've started doing recently. Holly, you may know what the side chaining is. It's,
yes, side chaining.
Kick,
yes, kick
so
to the
side
snare.
chaining
Yes,
basses
yes.
with, for example, the kick drum.
Can I just stop you here? This is very interesting stuff here. But
Ravi, would you like to ask your question?
ask your question to me, and then we'll go off of it because he's just gone on a tangent about something.
I mean, it was. I must say, it was lovely to hear about. I was going to ask a follow-up question about
Oh my god!
using headphones versus monitors. But yeah,
I love him.
Holly.
I love him so much. Sorry, Ravi. What was your question? If you
I
can
wanted to
remember.
know how is your production process going? Was that not your question?
I don't think you quite took it in the right context, babe.
Oh, I took it in the wrong direction.
You went a bit technical.
Yeah, right. So, Ravi, ask the question, and then I'll.
Cut.
Oh no, he's shouting.
Don't worry.
Don't worry, Ed. I found it interesting, but we'll go back to that in a minute.
Yeah,
Ravi,
I
ask your.
I
It was
nerding
wonderful.
out over here.
Yeah. Ask your question, Ravi.
All right. So I was wondering what the typical process was that you followed when you were working with new artists, as the brilliant producers that you are.
Right. So, especially when it's a newer artist and a newer band who are quite green and don't really get how the studio setups work and stuff like that, we tend to, if they have a demo, we listen to the demo, and usually we go from elements from that, but we load up the session. This is just a typical thing. We load up the session and we get them to lay a guitar part down first, and then we get them to maybe lay down a bass, and we get maybe then the drums and stuff like that. So we've got like a basis of something to build upon. And then what we usually do is I take it away after Ed's fiddled with EQ and compression, just done a basic sort of setup for that. I take it away and then I listen to it and I can see what bits I want to add to it. So then what we do is we take it back to the client on another session, and then we say, this is what I've done to this. I've done parallel compression on this. I've made the bass more punchy. I've made like the drums more punchy. I've done this. Do you like this? Do you like the direction we're taking this in? And they usually say yes. I've never had, no, I hate that. Oh no, I don't like it. Oh my god, no. Usually they say, I really like it. And then they're like, a comment we had was, it sounds better than I could ever possibly imagine it to be. Which was a very nice compliment, and I was like, thank God for that. So that was the basis of it. Ed, would you like to jump in?
Oh, I completely agree with you, Holly. I mean, like, people have the problem with how we record things or how our production process is. Yeah, to echo what you said,
I think it changes every time as well, depending on who we work with.
like we do, but like the basis is we get them to sort of, as they're setting up, and then we get them to do a run through of their songs, so that I can sit and then make sure that the levels are correct to do a record. Now there are two ways of us recording a band, right? So and we've done both of them now. So there's the record them all together, and then record one instrument after another. Now, depending on the type of band, I quite like recording one instrument after the other, and this mainly is because it gives us a lot more. How do I say? It gives
Flexibility.
us adjustment.
Yes, yeah,
room
yeah.
for adjustment to be made. For example, if we were recording a band all together, we do this using room mics. So perhaps we have to make sure that it's quite hard to get the balance of having the instruments sounding good in the room and then having them sound good on the through the microphones into the desk. So and then also having the in ears working, or sorry, the fold back working correctly as well. So it's a lot of manipulation, and you have to kind of faff around to make the sound right. I pretty much prefer the second way, but there are some bands that don't like doing it that way, and in fact, it doesn't actually work for the situation. So, but I've come accustomed to both of those ways, and I think it is very exciting. Not forgetting X and Y.
X and Y, X and Y. It's our favourite. It's my favourite X and Y.
Yes, Holly loves doing
The X and Y.
X and Y. She loves setting up the microphones
X
in
and
X
Y.
and Y.
I love X and Y. Yeah, it's just great. Any more questions, Ravi?
Well, I suppose following up from that, I know you mentioned there that you kind of give your ideas back to the client for feedback and then see what they come up with. How have you felt that your process has changed in terms of what's the difference when you're producing someone else in contrast to when you're producing your own stuff?
I think you're more. I'm more sensitive and less. I think of the idea that I want to put towards them and think, are they going to receive this well, or are they going to take this? Is it too much? Is it too experimental for them?
I suppose another interesting question for me on that would be, how do you feel about kind of genre specialisms in production? Do you feel like that's a thing, or do you feel like as producers you're kind of capable to work on literally anything that comes your way?
I think that there, in some regards, yes, you need to be. We're all very genre specific, right? So we all know where our talents lie. We all know how to record certain things, and I think for certain types of genres, it's really important to have that understanding. So, for example, I've been learning a lot of different techniques on how reggae is recorded, and that's completely different to how, let's say, 30s jazz is recorded. Okay, and I'm pretty sure any producer can record anything that they want, and I'm sure they'll be able to do it. But it really just depends on the type of experience. If you can say that you've had experience and an understanding on how to professionally record these types of genres, it may attract more clienteles to you. And I think specifically, there are some advantages to having to understand how to record. So for example, indie, right? Let's say let's go completely two opposite ends of the spectrum. Indie and metal, right? They're two completely different genres, and they have two completely different sounds. Now, you can have a producer that records indie that will have a go at recording metal, and I'm sure that he or she will be able to do it perfectly fine. but it might not give off the same impression or sound that the client may want, as opposed to someone who has worked on metal tracks before, has worked on multi-genres before. I don't know what you think. How do you feel about that, Holly?
I agree with you in the in the fact that
Wow.
I know we agree on something. No, but I agree because that's where I think that me and Ed work well as a team is the fact that he does a different genre to me. If I had it my way, we would just record everything like the 60s do, and that would be done with it. Because I've got a blooming obsession with recording things the way they used to record them, and bare minimum stuff, X and Y. But no, and if someone came to me with a metal track, I would say excellent. We could do that, but I would have to X and Y. But I would have to research, and that's the most important thing. Is you're still learning everything, and you're learning all the time. And if anybody, even EDM, like stuff like that, I would need to watch loads of documentary. I've watched like 3 or 4 documentaries to try and understand the fact of that, what makes an EDM track an EDM track. And for context, and it's about the what was it they keep saying, it's about the drop. It's all about the drop. And then you then go and reference, you go and listen to how many songs you listen to, and you say, that's what they're talking about, it's the drop. So you need to make sure that you have a drop, and you need to make it sound completely different, and it's all about the dance and the feel. So it's completely different genre experience. But I think the most important thing is you are specific in the genre that you create, because that's kind of like the music you like listening to.
I suppose you're right, though. I suppose it's the difference between you can have someone who specialises in 30s jazz trying to record heavy metal, I suppose, but it will come out with a different result.
Exactly.
I suppose it's in getting a recording and getting a good recording, right? And speaking of good recordings, simply because I just love your promo videos, what can people buy each other as a gift from B Side Recordings this year, guys?
I don't fucking know. Holly does.
Well, Ed, actually, let's give Ed a go. Ed, what can you buy?
A recording session.
Yes. And
a video or photos or something like that. Is that right?
Absolutely wrong. But I'm really proud that you gave it a good go. I'm very proud of you.
I thought that was the answer.
So what you can buy is gift vouchers of £10 to £50 to put towards our services, or you could buy a actual experience package.
What's in the package, Holly?
Well, we've got lots of packages. This is off the top of my head. Thanks very much, everyone. We've got a live audio recording, a live video and audio recording, a studio experience, and a full recording package experience. I think that's it. Becca's going, yes. Oh, and anything you want, basically, you can then contact us for a special custom package. Just email us. Thank you.
And I think that deserves a woo from Ed.
Woo!
Yeah. Excellent. So, Ravi, please play us your song if you're ready, and then Ed can get his phone and do it as a lighter for us, because that would be quite entertaining.
Okay, so this song. First of all, actually, before I do that, I want to say thank you very much for having me. This has been wonderful. It's a pleasure to see you guys. I miss you.
Aww.
I miss all of you dearly. It's been way too long since I've seen you. So thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
This song is called Mistletoe. It's going to be out on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, TikTok, I think, if any of us are that fashionable. I'm certainly not. On the 20th of November You can pre-save it now. You can find me on Instagram at Ravi Music UK and Twitter and Facebook and other websites. I don't know why I phrased that like that. That's really dodgy. Don't start, Ed. This song is called Mistletoe. I hope you like it. Remove your long red jacket. Let the snow hit the floor. As the crystals cascade, put on that smile of yours. They melt into nothing as I melt into you. When we sit by the fire, feeling safe and true. Our shivers, they linger, but we stay happily. 'Cause you're my gift, and I don't need no tree. Trace my cold fingers over your rosy cheeks as Jack Frost watches with envy from the street. I don't need no Christmas lights to see you sparkle, to see you shine. And I don't need no fire to help me with this burning desire of mine. And I don't need no calendar to count these days of perfect bliss. And I don't ever wanna need some mistletoe to feel your kiss. I play Yuletide carols on this beat-up guitar. You sing each word like it's gospel, right from the heart. They echo in the silence of our snow-covered town. Saint Nick will bring gifts, but you are all I want right now. I don't need no Christmas lights to see you sparkle, to see you shine. And I don't need no fire to help me with this burning desire of mine. And I don't need no calendar to count these days of perfect bliss. And I don't ever wanna need some mistletoe to feel your kiss. Our footprints may melt, but my love will last forever. Our footprints may melt, but my love will last forever. Our footprints may melt, my love will last forever. Our footprints may melt, my love will last forever. 'Cause I don't need no Christmas lights to see you sparkle, to see you shine. And I don't need no fire to help me with this burning desire of mine. Yeah, I don't need no calendar to count these days of perfectness. And I don't ever wanna need some mistletoe to feel your kiss. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was lovely.
That's a really good song, Ravi. That is really
Thank you
good.
so much.
That was brilliant, Ravi.
Thank you.
I would
Thank you
like
so
to
much.
say thank you very
I
much
love
for that.
Crap, what do you call it? The middle eight is
Yes.
really nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very nice.
So that's it, guys. That's all we've got time for.
Why not?
But thank you very much, Ravi, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me again.
That's
Seriously,
okay.
It's lovely to see you guys, and I absolutely love this podcast. You guys have me
Oh.
in stitches every single week. I watch it while I'm working. I never get any work done because I'm just busy laughing.
We love to work with you too.
Oh yes, it's been lovely.
It has been lovely. We haven't got the button today, so I'm just going to pretend it's there and edit it in. So Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us, and we'll see you next time.